GSL.
What's up, guys? I'm Tasteless with these Artosis or Tastosis, and this is the GSL Code A.
That is right. And back, Tasteless. Excited to cast some StarCraft once again.
Everybody, put your cell phones down. I know that Hearthstone just came out and you guys are like, woo, going like this. Not anymore. Eyes right here on the screen.
Yeah.
We got some great games today, and we're getting close to ending this GSL Code A.
That's right. We have today and Friday, and then we're going to have the entire Code S ready for you guys, and that's awesome because next season going to be absolutely mad.
Yeah, it's going to be a real treat. This Code S should probably be better than even the last season as far as the quality of players. I don't know if we'll top that finals that we had for Code S. That's going to be that might be a little while before we top that, but overall skill level and quality of games should be better for this upcoming GSL Code S.
Look at this. Today, live broadcast event code. Make Tastosis happy.
Make Tastosis happy.
Sick.
Do the right thing.
Yes.
We are wrought with depression right now, and you need to punch that code in.
I am. If you punch that code in, I'll become a little bit happier.
You see me now, and I'm smiling, but I want you to know, really, I'm like a crying clown.
Yes.
Okay, that's the best way to view me.
Inside, Tasteless is dead.
Is a clown.
He's
with
a rotted
tears coming
soul.
Down. So download the app and punch that code in.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the app the other day. I'm going to fool around with it a bit more this week, but it actually looks quite nice. Yeah. We had an app a while back, and it was actually pretty good, but this one looks a lot cleaner.
Yep.
Looks a lot nicer than that last one, which I actually used a lot.
really improved this app, so check it out. And I believe we're going to be going right into our matches here today. As you can see, the Code S distribution by race, and we only have 2 days of Code A left here, so this is almost the entire makeup of the GSL Code S.
And look at the guys who have made it in to Code S from Code A, guys. A lot of Terrans coming up. Those are really big and good names, so very excited to see them. Put us a little bit behind at the moment. Oh, I really like this lineup so far for the next Code S. This is looking fantastic. I hope we can get at least a couple more Protosses in the next couple days. Six is low for a group of 32, but of course we're not quite there yet. We're at 26 at the moment.
We have not hit our rock bottom yet for a number of players with one race, which was, I believe, 3.
3.
We had 3 Terrans once
that was,
in the GSL Code S.
Yeah, that was the first season of last year.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was like frighteningly bad. So already past that, so already going to be a better season than that probably. But yeah,
interesting though to see not as many Protosses here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're getting the main ones in, right? We have Hero and Parting, we have SOS and Rain. I think today we're going to add Terminator. We're definitely getting 8 Protoss at least today. But Terminator is quietly one of the very best guys. Definitely missing a few, though. Hopefully we get a few more.
We have 3 Protosses that could potentially move on, although it just seems unlikely because of Match 1 and Match 2. The non-Protoss is obviously a strong contender. The matchup lineup is going to be FanTaSy versus Pigbaby, Terminator versus Hero, and finally Sulky versus Creator.
Yeah, and that left column definitely super favored over the right column in every single matchup tonight.
Creative Brain is beating Logical Brain here today, Artosis.
Creative brain. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, you got there.
That was a straight up D- joke.
Yeah,
right
no,
there.
That was like a check mark.
Here,
you did show up to gym class joke. I don't even know if we can give that a letter grade.
That was a pass fail as far as credits go.
He did turn in a piece of paper with his name on it.
He did try to make a joke there. So, thank you guys who've come down to the studio here today. We don't get as many people coming down for Code A. The place fills up much more for Code S.
Yeah, it's it's Code A is fun. This is like extra bonus content. If you can only watch a set amount of StarCraft II, watch Code S. But you know what? You want a little bit more. You want some of the startup stories getting into Code S.
This is the director's cut of GSL.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the extra bonus footage.
We're the director's commentary.
You don't always watch this on the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever, but here we are.
Deleted scenes, all of it. You got all of it.
Some of these games definitely are deleted scenes, but
some of these games we've casted in Code A, I wish were deleted from my memory because some of them were quite bad. But we have had a lot of good ones here too.
These matches are pretty good. I actually think the second match might be the worst, which is really weird. Liquid Hero there, a lot of people. He has a lot of fans and whatnot, but Terminator is like kind of quietly one of the best Protoss in the world. So that's the one that I'm like kind of like, ooh, this could be one-sided, but we'll see. We'll see.
Here is FanTaSy. He was seated in here. FanTaSy is a very, very solid player for Brood War. Definitely.
Yeah. Top 6 player of all time.
Yeah, one of the strategic geniuses mentored by Slayer's Boxer in Brood War, not StarCraft II. He is phenomenal, but he has not quite made a splash here in GSL Code S.
No, not quite. He's really good, and he's had some fantastic matches, but his style hasn't quite carried over yet. Very harassment-based Terran player. We'll see if he can make a run this season, though. I'd love to see it.
And here is the greatest ID of all time, Pigbaby.
Right. Pigbaby, of course, making a huge splash in WCS America last year. Back in Korea now, back on his old team, Jin Air Green Wings. I'm excited to see how he can do. He definitely had some very cool PVTs in WCS America last year. For instance, you know, going for 5 observers, like a new record high. Most Protosses go 3 to 4 observers if they open Robo first.
Treat that like it's a PVT in Brood War.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. I like it. I use a style of 4 observers in PVT.
You go up past 4. I mean, you're really not making Colossi or
it's. He made it work, so we'll see what he can do against FanTaSy. A very observer-heavy style would help because FanTaSy is so harass-oriented.
He's a sneaky player, too.
Yeah, you really got to look for what he's doing to you. And take a look at the map pool. It's
going to be Vonnie Research Station, Overgrowth, Merry-Go-Round, Expedition Lost, and Deadwing.
I think this is a pretty even map pool for these two. I would lean like slightly towards a defensive macro Protoss on these maps overall, like just slightly. Like that's what I would favor. But we'll see. I think FanTaSy is a bit better than Pigbaby, generally speaking.
Yeah, I would.
So I'm leaning towards him in the match.
Even though I think a lot of our forward viewers, especially if they mostly watched StarCraft II and didn't follow Brood War, would be assuming Pigbaby, especially the North Americans watching, might be termed Pigbaby here. But FanTaSy should win just based off of sheer RTS experience, stage experience, stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks like FanTaSy actually vetoed King Sage on the station. That's kind of an interesting veto. He might find that hard to find all the proxies on and whatnot. He is a player that gets rushed a lot.
Well, he's got quite a reputation, especially amongst Koreans. Guys like Pigbaby grew up watching guys like FanTaSy.
Of course.
And we're getting very close to now starting match number 1 on Vonnie Research Station. It's a best of 5. The players have had plenty of time to prepare. It's going to come down to how well they execute their builds and how well they're able to download each other's strategies and rate each other as the best of 5 develops.
All right. This is going to be a good one, Tasteless Vonnie. Definitely a map that you can expand kind of easily on, but very droppable, so can be hard to defend against that type of play. We'll see what FanTaSy wants to do on it. Will Pigbaby make 5 observers? Maybe he has a new 6 observer build. I don't know.
That would be a treat.
That would be a treat.
Hope he does okay against FanTaSy.
Goes double Robo Observer.
Throughout most of the best of 5s we've had in Code 8, cheeses have been happening a lot in game number 1. So let's see how this unfolds now. FanTaSy against Pigbaby to start today off here at the GSL Code 8. In the south and the red.
Dead Pixels FanTaSy.
This is where the stream chat's like, Dead Pixels, more like Dead Game Kappa. In the north and the blue.
Jin Air Green Wings, Pigbaby.
You're not as good at making the pig sound as I am.
No, I'm not.
Well, that's why we're a duo. Okay, we have everything covered. Hey guys, thanks for coming down.
Hope you enjoy. Gonna be a fun day.
By the way, if you guys want in the audience, you can make a. We have stuff at the front desk, but you can grab a sign. You can make a sign if we put that sign on camera, you get a GSL coin, which you can use for prize drawings.
Yeah. Well.
And I believe we're still giving away those collectible cards at the front desk as well.
We? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know there was any of those left.
I believe there are, because I saw somebody got them last time I was here. But,
okay. Nice.
So we still have giveaways, and those will probably, honestly, be worth a lot down the road. Not a lot of people have them.
That's right. Well,
Tasteless has his. It's in a safety deposit box in the bank.
It's in a numbered Swiss account.
Next to the diamonds from my grandmother and, all that stuff. So, anyways, on into this game here.
I have it in a box in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Along with a gun and a bunch of passports. Just in case, you know? You know what I mean?
Artosis, most of the time he casts video game tournaments, but he has a really dark secret that we don't know. A bunch of passports and a handgun and a safety deposit box in Switzerland.
Yeah. You never know. You have to be prepared for any situation, Tasteless.
So, let's do a little bit of history here. FanTaSy was one of the best last Brood War players. Now, I know Brood War is actually, there's been a revival here in Korea.
Yeah.
Brood War tournaments are actually quite popular now, but
it's not supported like it was.
It was not supported like it was. There was a period in time where,
at the peak of competition, this guy
was one of the best, hands down.
Yes.
And we're talking at the peak of competition at the moments before StarCraft II was released.
Yeah,
in beta.
To put this in perspective, okay, the absolute peak before the beta came out and players started switching, that's what I generally consider the peak, although it absolutely was still going very strong after that. But like a couple years ago, the last OSL, he was in it. He was in the finals. He got second place because, of course, he was against the Protoss who went DTs. So we know how that ends. And it was in the fall, so okay. And then other than that, like even before, like during the super peak of StarCraft, the top 4 players, Stork, Bisu, Jaedong Flash, right below them was Zhongbi in FanTaSy. So that was he's one of the best ever. And I'm still waiting for him to do that here. He's done very well in StarCraft II, but not up to where you would expect, you know?
You summed it up perfectly, Artosis. By the way, what's the deal? There's an SCV out here. We have 4 raids coming up.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to poke up. He wants to force a Nexus Cannon if possible. And oh my god, this is huge.
Pigbaby's in trouble!
Yeah. That's really bad.
Yeah, and he should get that. Okay, this is actually so bad, it's hard to find a word in the human language to really capture it.
How about,
it's like, how bad is it, Tasteless? I have to use, like, dark art and, like, kill a baby bunny. People are like, oh, that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, huh? Yeah, it is.
Baby bunny.
Yeah.
How about a baby pig?
Well, we might have that.
Well, yeah, losing that Mothership core early on is, of course, always bad, but when a drop like this is coming, it's a little bit worse. Look at this, a couple of Hellions coming up. You can't defend everything with 2 Stalkers. Of course you can't. Well, 3 Stalkers. Oh, yeah, no, he's fine.
He's totally fine now. No, I mean, the Mothership core cannon, Nexus cannon, is vital to holding off any attacks from this. I like the placement, by the way. Oh, my God.
Okay, good micro there. And look at this. The Hellions right now going to work on the main mineral line. He is so far ahead already, FanTaSy is. This is insane.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess the game's over. That's too bad. Oh, my God.
To some extent, yeah. I mean, the game is... Pigbaby just got bashed, man.
Yeah. Well, Pigbaby didn't really have that much intel. I'm actually...
Pigbaby is Bacon Baby right now.
Yeah, he's definitely getting fried.
He might even just be Baco's. I don't know.
There's no fat in this bacon, though, I got to tell you.
That's
man.
for sure.
This is some pretty trimmed down bacon, only 23 probes
left. Oh, my God,
left.
it's not ending either.
Okay. Oh, man, he uses Nexus Cannon against 3 Marines.
You know when you're laddering, but maybe you're not at your proper rank, so you're tearing through the ladder?
Yeah.
Beating people that are just not at the same level as you. This is what this game looks like if you're that person in your FanTaSy.
Yeah. The thing is, he saw that this was going to be a fast factory build, right? Because he sent out a probe on 13. So when you see that, you've got to be really careful to be sewed up tight. And Hellions are oftentimes a part of that nowadays. So I'm just kind of surprised that his Nexus Cannon was the unit of choice at the ramp instead of a Stalker. Because that's what you do against Reaper, but that's not what you do against a Quick Fact.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
nice targeting there. Definitely more worth it to get that 1 Stalker than a probe in moments like that.
Well...
Are you kidding me?
I don't even know, man. He's already just so wrecked. It's crazy.
I can't believe how this game started out. Normally, in a pro StarCraft II match, early game like this, you never see these scenarios come to be because the defense is just so solid. They're sort of prepared for everything. But this is really highlighting, I think, the disparity in skill here between FanTaSy and Pigbaby.
Yeah, and you know, Pigbaby was like kind of making a splash before he went to America, and then when he came back and rejoined Generic Green Wings, you know, you got to figure, oh, okay, he's going to be kind of up in skill right now, doing a good job. Of course, FanTaSy left SK a while back, has been on Dead Pixels for a while, and I thought this would be a lot closer because of those factors, but you know, at the same time, he lost his Mothership core early on, which just spiraled everything out of control, so it's like looking really bad. Like, as soon as he lost the Mothership core, he could have GG'd, and I'd be like, all right, you probably shouldn't GG this early, but FanTaSy was probably going to kill you no matter what. But still, this is like painfully painful.
Wow.
Painfully
painful.
Yeah. Like, it pains me to see how painful this is.
You know, the tech has been so delayed here for Pigbaby. FanTaSy can just drop in right here. And bear in mind, Stim and Combat Shields are about to finish. In fact, +1 attack is going to finish in the midst of this battle here. Whoop, did lose a handful of Marines there.
Where he put his tech, that's like the first thing that'll die when it gets dropped. It's like, I don't like the placement on that tech whatsoever. I think you've got to put your tech like to the right of your right geyser. It's like
I agree.
You know, it's
I
don't know how the hell he's supposed to guard everything.
Well, I mean, it's almost hard to be critical of Pigbaby's state now because the mistakes were actually made several minutes ago, and really trying to come back from here is what's so difficult about it. Now, FanTaSy with total map control and actually having a pin right now on. Oh, is he just going to go in?
Yeah, he may
I
as
was
well.
going to talk about this.
That's it.
You know, the opportunities that he would have to continue to get ahead here, but I don't think that matters.
No, it's
GG, Stim Combat Shields with a lead like that will simply win you the game. FanTaSy up 1-0, looking prime to move on to the GSL Code S.
Yeah, that was really, really one-sided. You know, it was a small thing that is a huge mistake. To lose that one unit, the Mothership core is in the game for a reason, and if you lose it early like that, when your opponent is doing, like, the thing is, his counter build was good, his unit placement was just wrong. Like, if they're going Reaper, you generally keep the Mothership core near the ramp and the Stalker towards the main, because that's just like how you zone the unit out, because it's going to jump in most of the time, so you can chase with the Stalker. But against a build like that, you don't want your Mothership core over in the front where it's open. You want Stalkers so you can even block Hellions running up or whatever, or anything like that Marine move out. It's not like no Terran in the history of the world ever walks up their ramp with a Marines to kill the Mothership core, you know?
Yeah.
People poke, they try to figure out things like that. And so Pigbaby with that little mistake costing that game, making him look silly.
I do worry about Pigbaby's morale going into game number 2. We don't, especially in the last year or so, we don't pass games like that anymore. They're normally not. A player that looked like Pigbaby would never even get this far at GSL.
Yeah.
And I have to say, not only is that a brutal loss, but that is stressful and a bit humiliating to lose like that.
I'm not sure which coach went in to speak to him, but unless
we actually did not see.
Unless it was Charlotte herself, I think he's gonna. Someone's gonna have to write his name in a web if he's gonna come back from here.
I mean, this is...
Is he a fabulous pig or not?
We're gonna find out, man.
I take it you haven't watched Charlotte's Web recently.
I think that was a book originally, wasn't it?
Yeah, but...
Yeah. I watched that when I was like in 3rd grade, but I don't remember it. Did you watch that with your kid, or...
Yeah.
Did you just watch that on the airplane back from Germany?
It's just one of my favorite things.
One of your favorite movies? Yeah. No, I haven't heard that story in a long time. Anyways, we're going to go into game number 2 right now. Can Pigbaby come back, or will FanTaSy continue to gain a lead? In the upper right, in the red, he is
Dead Pixels FanTaSy.
in the bottom left in the blue.
Generic Green Wings Pigbaby.
Now, I know you and I especially harp on the fact that you probably cannot be the best without being on a Kespa team.
Yeah.
Basically, it doesn't
Definitely
happen anymore.
cannot.
Yeah, definitely
cannot.
nowadays cannot. But I would like to highlight that you do see the difference between a long-time top-tier Brood War pro playing, although he's not on a Kespa team, compared to a lower-end Kespa-ranked player.
Yeah.
One of the, I guess you could say like a ringer on Kespa,
Yeah.
on this Kespa team specifically.
Yeah, sometimes you do see them jump to like a non-Kespa team every now and then, like a player that isn't like as big a deal. And like Pigbaby was one of these guys that kind of was like, okay, I'm out of the Korean scene for a little bit. And generally it doesn't go too well for him. Like right now we have some players that are still keeping very high levels, like FanTaSy, but moreover like Rain and Sulky are still playing really well, getting deep, having great games. We'll see if they can continue that or for how long they can continue that without Kespa teams. But I don't know. You never see it last too long that they can play at the super top level. Like I guess the person who did the best with that was Jaedong. He was actually like keeping himself really
on
high
EG,
level.
Yeah, he was really high quality.
TaSy has done a good job of that, even though, but whenever he plays in GSL, he gets
now
slaughtered.
that he's back, he gets totally bopped.
Jaedong isn't doing as well recently either.
That's true.
So, I guess really where Jaedong was doing well was the foreign events as well, same as TaSy, which is a different format than out here. So it's like kind of a different. It's different in enough ways that you're like, would Jaedong do well in the GSL? I don't know.
I don't know.
Right now, no, but when he was like really peaking last year before.
It's hard to say because, you know, for instance, even when we had, are we going to have a proxy over here? I think we are.
So, looks like it. Oh,
cool. Proxy factory into proxy starport. But you know, I think the interesting fact of the matter is that we had after you know, kind of the format for WCS and everything sort of changed. The Koreans, most of them had to come back to Korea to compete. We had players like TaSy, right? People were very convinced would, in fact, win a GSL Code S. And plenty of other players like that where people were saying, okay, well, when we get all these guys together, you're going to see that, in fact, North America, Europe, places like that, you know, are going to not stifle a player's ability to do as well. And then you see them come back and you think, well, I guess you're wrong. I was hoping it would be that case, but when you put them all together and put them in a Code S, you definitely have the guys who are more regulars here doing better.
Yeah. You can take our word for it or not. That's cool. There's evidence both ways, but definitely you need to have that practice regimen. This game is way too hard.
Well, now in the current state of things, the guys that have had a little bit more time to be on a Kespa team seem to do a little bit better.
Yeah.
He did scout that, by the way.
Indeed. It's a very good scout, but the thing is he's actually the one that's going to be putting on the pressure. So we'll see if... Because, yeah, all right, so 2 gates being added. We'll see how quickly he adds a robo. It might not be that quick, and if it's not that quick, he's going to be in trouble.
Well, I think the opt to do the proxy there early on is pretty smart. Well thought out.
Yeah.
Pigbaby's actually moving out here. It looks like he wants to do some aggression.
Well, this is... Yeah.
You know, there's a chance, though, that Pigbaby could break this. We'll have to see. He's going to bring the Mothership Core this, but bringing the Widow Mines into this drop here, and Hellions too, I mean, there's not anywhere near as much to defend, which means that the punishment's going to happen first and foremost with FanTaSy hurting Pigbaby before Pigbaby starts hurting FanTaSy, which is usually a very bad sign.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Like, Pigbaby will have a stronger army. He has a lot of potential to do damage here, but his mining should be hurt kind of badly here.
Okay, so it's a Widow Mine and 2 Hellions.
Yeah, he might be able to kill a lot of probes off here. But the thing is, these Stalkers, there's not enough army at home to stop this for FanTaSy. So kind of a hard situation. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Okay. Now he's spreading out the probes here.
Oh.
Looks like he wants to go for a surround here.
Oh, my God. Why did he think that would ever work?
Yeah.
Like, come on. He's like surrounding Hellions with a medevac over him.
The medevac has the unique ability to pick up units after it's been dropped with no cooldown. So let's see what happens, though. Now the Stalkers are going to come in here.
Oh, man. He's going to get that upgrade. That's Stim, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Like a split second left there. Now, the problem is that Pigbaby can basically keep blinking forever here. So.
Yeah. Well, He's doing a good job so far, killing off a lot of SCVs. It's a big deal. This Widowmine could be very helpful.
Yeah,
but
the Widowmine burrowed over here. That means he has to attack into the front.
Oh, that's a good Widowmine as well.
Oh my god. There's actually 4 workers remaining, by the way.
Wait, he only has 4 workers? Holy crap.
Yeah,
but you know what? There's not
SCVs.
that many for Terran, but he does have mules, so his economy way, way better.
Yep, there's a mule.
There's 2 mules.
There's 2 mules.
Uh-oh.
That's already more than all of the economy there. Oh my god. Okay, so the
Okay, he tanked with the mothership core.
Yeah.
I think that you target this mothership core pretty quickly, and if you chase him out again, you should be able to take the game. But I think also he needs to refocus everything to the main base. Like, trying to go up and down doesn't even make sense against this, right?
I believe that everything is softened up enough.
Yeah.
That if he just micros well with that medevac, that's going to be a GG. Pigbaby. I actually almost called him Pig Bacon. Pigbaby is maybe that was some foreshadowing by me. That was a bit of a Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
Pigbaby was visibly shaken. You can see it in the camera at the bottom left. Very frustrated with that loss. FanTaSy is bending Pigbaby into a pretzel right now.
He is. He's making some Pigbaby sausage. Is there any like thing for pigs like there is for like the equivalent of veal? I want to make a joke about pig veal.
I don't know that there is actually.
Okay.
I think it's normally well,
You wait for the pig to grow up and stuff.
Yeah, because you just get so much more meat off of it. But I don't believe there's. I know like. Well, I was going to say like Kobe beef, but Kobe beef actually
Would
pretty,
be a cow.
yeah, I was good. But that's
I mean,
like
like
veal
veal
way to die.
Veal is specifically Kobe beef. I believe is just that's an area of Japan that they make a certain type of really.
Well, it is an area, but actually you can
meat.
make Kobe beef outside of that area.
Okay,
it's a practice.
So it's like a way that they feed them. Or
I
something.
believe so.
But veal is like a baby cow.
Veal is a baby cow.
Yeah. So I was wondering if there's. Like
I think you'd have to make the equivalent of like when they slaughter the pig for satanic rituals and spray the pig's blood over the pentagram or whatever.
Something like that.
Something like that.
It's definitely not going well for Pigbaby. He's definitely not going to beat FanTaSy. He's definitely not going to Code S this season.
It does not look like it, man. This is pretty brutal.
He got like the first game it was his mistake and FanTaSy just pounced all over him the second it was made. Second game he made the conscious decision to do a 2-gas expand with no scout, which is a common build, but FanTaSy had happened to choose something that countered it reasonably well. Pigbaby did not deal well with the Hellion drop, though, so that was definitely a mistake. But it was a rough one for him. Like, I think that FanTaSy was like pretty much favored there immediately, but not great handling by Pigbaby.
Pigbaby's gonna need a miracle, and he's gonna need 3 of them because right now FanTaSy's up with a 2-0 lead.
Well, that would make him a saint, wouldn't it?
That actually would. In the bottom center in the red.
Dead Pixels FanTaSy.
That's right. Well, I'll get to that in a second. So here's FanTaSy up 2-0. Godlike player from Brood War here in StarCraft II. And in the upper right, the blue.
Gene Green Wings Pigbaby.
So yeah, if we see 3 wins in a row, we can call the Pope up and say, look, we have confirmed evidence that there has been enough miracles to saint Pigbaby.
If we just show him the first 2 games and then Pigbaby comes back and wins, I think he'd pretty much ordain Pigbaby, right?
I think so. Welcome to the studio, guys. Thanks for
Welcome
coming down. It actually filled up a little bit more in here. It was pretty empty early on when we got.
Well, we have some like Liquid Hero is a very loved player. I don't know if Terminator's gaining a fan base out here. He's definitely gaining me as a fan though, and of course Sulky,
I think Terminator is a bit more popular in Korea.
Is he?
Than in
Well, he's not really popular abroad.
Abroad.
Yeah, but he's popular with me. I'm like quite a big Terminator fan nowadays.
He's a great player, honestly.
Yeah, he's super
really
smart, man. He's like, his play is really, really smart. I have so much respect for him.
Now,
how's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm really good.
Yeah,
it's good to have you back. I had a great cast, though, with Breaded and Moonglade.
Yeah,
Mooney.
Someone tweeted a little snippet of Moonglade's casting.
Yeah. He did a great
good
impression of all Americans
and especially me.
You, yeah.
I love cards.
I love cards. I love cards so much, guys.
Cards Stone.
Cards Stone. Here's your hashtag fashion.
Yeah, well, I gotta watch those VODs. So I haven't gotten to watch them yet. Were they good?
They were good.
Good matches.
We had a lot of great games, actually.
I'll try to get those in this week.
Good, long days. Lots of interesting games.
Yeah.
It was a treat.
Cool.
Now, I'm just looking at the way this probe is going down here from Pigbaby. And it looks to me like he's up to something a little bit sneaky. He's going to have a probe, make a pylon down there. I believe he's going to proxy a Stargate.
I do think you are correct. But he's only on 1 gas. So
let's see what
he's going to have the gas for it because he's not getting Warp Gate and he's not getting a Mothership Core.
I think this is something a lot weirder and cheesier
there it is.
Than a normal build. And I'm not sure how it's going to work because already this Zealot is basically dead.
Yeah, it keeps the Reaper from finding anything, so it's kind of cool in that regard.
Yeah, but in a sense, the Zealot coming out to begin with is already what the Reaper needed to find.
Yes, very much so. You're very right about that. Now the Stalker, okay, the Stalker started to walk out and then went back. Obviously, he needs to defend against the incoming Reaper. But already FanTaSy should be really on his toes. And he starts another command center, actually. Okay.
Well, I mean, the fact that there's a Nexus being made here means this isn't too all-in-y.
Yeah, yeah. It's in fact, this is one of the least all-in proxy Stargates you'll ever see. He did it off of 1 gas to start. So, he didn't really sacrifice that much early.
There's no Warp Gate, right?
No.
It's actually one of these
weird builds. He has not even started Warp Gate. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the whole trick behind it. And I actually like it. I like this because you don't actually need Warp Gate this early if you're kind of careful about it. And against this build, actually, I think this is going to work out probably pretty well. He should be able to get a decent amount of damage done with this Oracle. There's really not enough Marines to cover everything.
Let's see how his Oracle control is. He's going to come in here now. Okay, so far only... Well, okay, now 1 kill.
That's a good kill on that eBay. All right, not really quite as good as it could have been.
Yeah, he kind of...
He overflew
the micro a little bit.
Like, if he started attacking the second he saw that open mineral line, definitely would have a lot more kills right now. So, yeah, that's... I mean, with no turrets and not enough Marines to cover both mineral lines, I feel like this Oracle so far has underperformed slightly.
Oh, my God. Well, now it's...
Oh, okay, yet another one. That's fine, then. In that case.
It's not totally fine, but it's more,
better if
it's
it
more
didn't
okay.
happen.
Yeah, it's more okay that he had a second one doing damage than he just lost that one.
But hey, it's starting to work out for him for sure. I was a little bit confused when he died. I'm like, are you this? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, first I'm
you're
like,
this bad.
I'm like, you had one job, Samuel Tully.
Tarly.
Tarly, thank you. Samuel Tarly.
Yeah.
Now, the Oracle is going to continue to fly around here. It's actually a good lead here for Pigbaby. It's 33 workers to 18. And
look what he
Pigbaby
chooses to do.
expanding again. I think this is pretty smart.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
It looks like a Brood War PvT, but it might just work. We'll have to see, though. I think if there's a person that could play like this, it would probably be FanTaSy.
Yeah, he definitely has a reasonable shot at doing so. He's pretty low on SCVs, though, and he did a quick third command. I think that Pigbaby has actually played this game very well so far. I like the build. I'm actually kind of getting a little bit of chills here thinking about this build and how it flows into that third Nexus a little bit easier because he didn't get the second gas as quickly as you oftentimes see with a proxy Oracle. The way that he delayed this Warp Gate, realizing he doesn't really need it that much, and these Oracles are keeping FanTaSy in his base quite well. I like it. I think that this is well done by Pigbaby. He definitely has a good shot at this game right now.
This is probably a build a lot of our Protoss players who just ladder all the time don't ever see from Pigbaby. This is a rare one compared to the conventional way people approach StarCraft II. So I don't know how many times you could do this build in a row.
Yeah,
it might be more doable than you think.
Yeah,
compared to some other builds, I think
you're right on that.
Yeah.
I think that this one is pretty minimal as far as risk goes.
Yeah,
and it's like you're not really sacrificing that much economy. It's like really more of a sacrifice on the Warp Gate. So it's kind of a cool in-between build.
I do wonder how much FanTaSy has experience with that. Although, that being said, experience aside, I'd say, again, FanTaSy probably one of the better players to deal with a build like this, just on the fly.
Yeah, he's generally known for having very good micro and very good multitasking, which can be very useful in a situation like this. And he is behind, so this is like a situation where you almost have to be creative to win the game. We'll see if FanTaSy can show us some of that creativity, though. Pigbaby is being like real greed mode right now, and he did a lot of damage, so it might work out. I am a little bit surprised with A, the placement of those forges, and B, the fact that he's going 2 of them.
Yeah.
I feel like, because I think he'll probably get away with it and end up winning, but...
Oh my god! Not good.
Oh, that's a bad loss. It's almost more important just to keep them alive, the threat, than to do damage.
The trick with those oracles is that whenever they leave the base, you just fly the oracles in and start killing stuff.
Yeah.
And then
and even tagging stuff is great, too.
Sure, yeah. Tag a bunch of medevacs and Marine Marauder moving out. Yeah, you're in great shape.
But it does seem like Pigbaby's being a little bit greedy, doing all this at once, because he has like a lot of area to cover. It's going to be hard to do so without a lot of observer covering. I guess the Oracle kind of makes up for a lot of that, so that's okay. But he's basically just got to get a whole bunch of units and stop the first few harassments dead in their tracks. If he can do that, he's going to be in fantastic shape.
Well, FanTaSy's going to be taking his third now. It's 97 supply to 86. The majority of the supply lead is actually workers right now for Pigbaby, so the armies could be evenly matched.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And important to note that it's double reactor starports right now, so that's the ability to switch between lots of Vikings or lots of medevacs is going to be putting FanTaSy in a very flexible unit comp position here.
Very good chance that he actually goes for an SCV pull type of scenario. Good tag. That's exactly the type of tag you need. If you can see where those drops are coming in, that's going to be great. But I think that FanTaSy sees the writing on the wall, perhaps, that he needs to do something very all-in-y. And that's, look at how heavily he's producing these Vikings. He can't lose any of these medevacs, so that's very important, because he only has 4.
Well, for the time being, Pigbaby just has to continue to get a more and more perfect army balance. You know, get more Colossi out, have the Colossi covered by enough Stalkers, get the right number of Zealots to sponge out the damage. But FanTaSy's getting the proper unit composition, FanTaSy basically has that. He just has to grow that. And that's why FanTaSy gets the map control here. Gets to move around freely and poke and pin as he sees fit. Oh, well, my
here we go.
Goodness. Okay, he's
not
pulled
surprised
the boys.
about this.
I was talking to Moonglade in our last cast about, he said, should it be called like maybe pulling the men? And I'm like, well, I don't know how I like the sound of that, but
yeah.
And I was realizing actually pulling the boys already sounds, you know, like some kind of double entendre here, but he's going to go ahead and do it now. He's coming out.
All right, let's see if Pigbaby can hold on.
Now,
well, this is where you go hit the third base.
Yeah,
does he
not have vision of the third base?
I think he must. Because this is like, if he just went to the third base instead of this move right here, he would have already killed it and gotten out. But,
well, you know, let's see how much he actually has left at the end of all this. It's going to be harder for him to stim and run forward here. Well, I guess the... okay, you know, that was just a poor attack overall. That was just a bit illogical. You saw even that the Vikings, in fact, at the beginning of that attack, were hitting the Colossi that were in the Guardian Shield and stuff like that. There was just a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, like one of the reasons why this map is quite favored for Terran versus Protoss, not just the being able to drop into the main base quickly, but in a situation like that where they pull up their ramp where they have to, the third base becomes completely free. Like, literally, if you just look at the movement speeds of the units, you can kill the third without taking any damage.
You can even send your SCVs back.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep them with you. You'll get that, and the game will go on.
I would almost prefer that he kills the third, and then does the pull, because then it's like, you know, like, go up there, he puts on the next scan, he's back in that defensive spot, run over, kill the third base for free, and then the thing is, normally Protoss will chase you out, because they don't want to lose their third base completely for free, and then you have the open territory that you're looking for with no Nexus Cannon. That's where you want to do that engagement anyways, so I think that strategically that was a bit of a
Did he not
mistake.
know about the third base at all?
I think that has to be the case. Like, he was walking towards it before.
That's weird. I thought...
I didn't actually catch if he saw it.
I guess we never really looked into it. I just assumed that he had to have scanned there or something, right?
But if he doesn't know the third base is there, the SCV pull, like...
It doesn't make any sense. Why would you SCV pull if the guy's powering on 2 bases, right? Like,
yeah, it makes the tiniest bit of sense because he's behind. He might think, well, I'm already dead from losing that many SCVs. So, like, in that regard, but, like, I definitely agree that it would make 1,000,000% more sense if he saw that third.
Bit of a strange game there from FanTaSy. Now, he's not giving up yet. In fact, oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you know what? This is huge.
Yeah, that's a big move. And the blink was already used there, so it takes a little bit longer to get up. He will have to get out pretty quickly. That Zealot Warp in was just in time.
Okay, so he's going to pick up here.
Ooh.
Drop another day. It's been 66 workers to under 30 here for FanTaSy for a while.
But how many meals, I ask you?
That's a good question. And it looks
Three
like
at a time,
he's not going to be making any more SCVs. He's actually going to stay 3 base to the 2 base in Protoss to try to match this and hope that he can out-position him. And we have a drop that we're not getting on camera, but it's at the upper right. And this is what he wants to win with. However, I think just Pigbaby's push should just trample whatever FanTaSy has down there in the south. GG, Pigbaby. That's step 1 of 3 to come back.
Yeah, it was a really nice build by Pigbaby. He executed it well, and it was a good job. FanTaSy, I don't think FanTaSy did anything wrong except he didn't pull back and kill that 3rd base. I think that it was so obvious the second he saw those units, the Nexus Cannon, the Colossus in position. I mean, he's running up that little choke into that army. If he just falls back and kills that 3rd base, he has a much better shot that game. I think Pigbaby's still probably favored even to take it, even then, but definitely a bit of a misplay.
Was FanTaSy just too cocky back there?
I'm not 100% sure he saw the 3rd man.
Man, that is...
That's
a little bit unacceptable if he didn't check for that, but...
I think you have to assume they have a 3rd. Like, even if he didn't
even
check
for the length of the game itself.
Yeah, like, even when he sees how many units, he should be like, oh, you should have a 3rd base, right? Like,
right.
But, I mean, it can throw you off when you lose a bunch of SCVs to an Oracle early on. So.
Well, Pigbaby, like I said, that's step 1 of 3 steps to coming back here. The question is, can he win the next game and the one after that? We're going to go to a short break. When we return, we'll continue on with the match between FanTaSy and Pigbaby.